my name is Miguel Buencamino. I'm a mixologist and photographer based out of Charleston, South Carolina. Today we're going to be talking about tequila, more specifically Casa Don Ramón Tequila Limited Edition. I'm super excited to try this because this is the first time I'll be trying it, and I'll be trying it with y'all. So I'll be going over how to taste tequila, going into the nose, the taste, the palate, and everything else that you need to know regarding these tequilas. So Don Ramón was nice enough to send me 3 varieties of their limited edition tequilas: the Plata, the Anejo, and the Extra Anejo. Let's open up the Plata first so we can kind of show you the packaging and just see what it's all about. So if you haven't heard of Don Ramón, it's actually a tequila brand that's been around Mexico for a while. Now, it's finally being released in the United States. That's why I'm so excited to try this for the first time. So this bottle is gorgeous. It looks like it is etched instead of laser engraved, which means you can actually see the, you can feel it, is the best way to say it. You can see that they've taken a lot of care in really branding these bottles. It's actually numbered, engraved as well. So this Plata is one of 10,000. This Extra Añejo was one of 5,000, and this Añejo is also one of 5,000. So one thing to note is there's a note inside that says, you know, they use real Swarovski crystals in all of these bottles, which is kind of crazy to kind of decorate and ornate these bottles. Let's go into tasting these. Before we do, we should probably talk about glassware. Glassware is a really important subject and something near and dear to my heart because I truly believe that every single spirit should have a special kind of glassware that you can use to really accentuate all the aromas and the flavors that are in that spirit. Tequila is no exception. So if you've been drinking tequila out of a shot glass, there's a time and a place for that. These tequilas are not for that. With tequilas like this that are kind of on the more premium side, you definitely want to be smelling and tasting every single thing that this tequila has to offer, because that's what it's meant for. It's not meant to be shot, it's meant to be enjoyed and sipped. If you didn't already know, there are such a thing as tequila flutes. These flutes are made to accentuate the aromas that are inside of each one of these tequilas. It really does aerate the tequila as you're swirling it. So it releases a lot more of those aromas and a lot more of those flavors that you wouldn't get in a shot glass, for example, where it's filled to the brim with just tequila. These are great. If you don't own a set of these, please feel free to use a wine glass or Glencairn glass, but you know, these specifically are made for tequilas. And I think if you are a serious tequila drinker, it would be worth the investment to grab some of these. So let's taste some tequila. We're gonna start off with the Don Ramón limited edition Plata, which is their silver or unaged tequila. It's 80 proof. I got bottle 2,981 out of 10,000. So I'm super excited to try this. Again, this is my first time trying it. So let's see how it tastes. Okay, I guess we gotta unclasp the head so we can uncork it. Ooh, that's a nice sound. Okay, we got a clean tequila flute here. And I'll go ahead and pour. So when you're pouring tequila, the suggested amount for you to taste is 4 sips of tequila, which I think is around 1.5 to 2 ounces. So just keep that in mind whenever you're pouring. So one thing we can look at is the color and the legs of this tequila. So, I mean, crystal clear, obviously, for a silver tequila, their Plata. And you can kind of look at the legs on the tequila as well. This has some pretty long legs. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's nose it. So it's definitely fruitier than I feel like I'm used to, but it's not over astringent, which means that, you know, when you smell it, especially higher proof alcohol, the alcohol immediately hits your nose and it almost burns. So it's not like that at all. Let's taste it. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is really bright and fruity, almost kind of grassy, in a good way. So the finish is great on this too. It's lingering without having a burn. So, you know, a lot of people will say like, oh, I don't like it when it burns. But like for me, the more it lingers in your mouth, I kind of like that because you kind of keep tasting the tequila and you kind of taste it and it's evolving in your mouth. And, you know, it's pretty sweet, I want to say. It's got, again, like bright fruity notes It's almost kind of like refreshing. That's a weird thing to say about tequila, but I actually do really enjoy this one. Oh, that's a good sipper. Yeah, you could sip this over ice with some lime, or just sip it by itself neat, which is probably what I would prefer. That's a great tequila. All right, so our next one we're tasting is the Anejo. I love the sound of that. It's a good pop. Again, about 2 ounces, ounce and a half, 2 ounces. Oh, right off the bat, huge nose of just caramel. I mean, it's kind of got that honey color to it anyway, and oh, it's almost got kind of a leathery, kind of like tobacco-y aroma to it that you would, I feel like, find in some scotches. It's pretty awesome. It's very appealing. All right, let's taste it. So it's definitely a little bit more mellow than our silver. Got more of that fruity taste, but this time it's kind of a little bit more accentuated, a little sweeter. This is so weird to say, but it's kind of got like an apple pie essence to it. It's very fall flavored, which is kind of awesome. The finish, about a medium finish. It definitely does not linger as long as the Plata did, but the finish is great. It's enough for you to still kind of savor after you take that first sip. And when you're tasting tequila, make sure to give it a couple sips because your palate will evolve over time. This is really good. So this is really pleasant. So if you're into kind of like that, almost like those fall flavors, this is an amazing sipping tequila. Man, it does remind me a lot of fall. Lots of cinnamon in there, which is, I'm sure from the barrels, but this is delicious. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the extra añejo and try that out and see how it stacks up to the regular añejo. Last but certainly not least is our Casa Don Ramón limited edition extra añejo. This one's supposed to be the bomb. Again, I haven't tried it, so let's go ahead and pour it. All right, right off the bat, kind of like a deep, dark honey color. From what I'm told, this is 3 years barreled in oak. Usually when tequilas or other spirits are barreled for a certain amount of time, you know, not only do they inherit the characteristics of the barrel and that wood that it's encased in, but it also mellows out a lot of these flavors, these sharp tones that you would typically find in a raw spirit. But let's sample this. Got those long legs again. Ooh. Oof in a good way. By that I mean it's very like rich smelling in terms of, it's almost raisiny, which you kind of find in brandies and cognacs, but oh, that's nice. Wow, okay. So super mellow, definitely benefits from barrel aging for 3 years. It is, man, it's just smooth. I mean, there's no burn at all. It's not as stringent on the nose. The aroma is very sweet, very pleasant. You definitely got the notes of the cooked agave in there, which I love. I don't know if you guys love like agave nectar in cocktails like I do, but very similar notes as that, which kind of makes sense. Tequila is made from agave. You know, I feel like it also picked up some nuttiness from that barrel, but definitely dark fruit, cooked agave, and man, it's just very rich. The finish is about medium, about the same as the añejo. It's not super long, but it's also not dry. So it lingers enough for you to kind of really enjoy it for a good amount of time. So definitely take your time in between sips and really just let it evolve on your palate. If you had asked me what my favorite was, I'd probably go with the añejo. They're all great. Ooh, it's a toss-up between the añejo and the extra añejo, I feel like. Not to say the Plata is not delicious, because it is, but I'm very partial to aged liquors and tequilas, so this is fantastic. So thank you guys so much for joining this tasting. I am more than excited to see what Casa Don Ramón is going to be up to even in the next year, since they're just now launching in the United States. Just a heads up, I'll be posting some recipes on Holy City Handcraft with Casa Don Ramón tequilas and mezcal, so keep a lookout for those. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Cheers, y'all.